So there are two ideas about our church that have meant so much to me lately. One is connection and one is hope. Connection, that's what we're all about, connecting with God, connecting with each other, connecting with the community and world. Those things matter so much to us. That's what church is all about, and we do those things well, I believe. I'm proud of it. Especially during this pandemic, that connection has been more important than ever. We've needed God, we've needed each other, even during this time when we can't be together in the place, and then certainly connecting with our community, which we continue to do. What that creates is hope. And we're all about hope. Hope, sometimes people say, we want to get back to church. We want to get back to normal. God's not asking us to go back. God's asking us to move forward. There's hope. Hope is here. Hope is now. God's calling us to something new and beautiful. We're eager to see what that might be.
We've been a part of Myers Park Methodist for over a decade, and it's been really a great experience. Every Christmas, the kids with the candles do Silent Night, and I had tears on Christmas Eve this year when we were still able to do it, even virtually.
Yeah, the church has always been a place where I know that we can come in and be ourselves, we can be truthful. I know that we're going to get love. It's been a wonderful place for us.
So much of what we love is just the depth of this church. And of course, there's the pastoral resources and the knowledge share of the leadership, but then the small groups that we're part of, the Sunday school that my wife and I have been so much a part of, the children's programs that our kids are all a part of just mean so much to us. And then of course, the heart of it all is the depth of the relationships that we've made that really is the church. And the growth we found in that as a family is just everything to us.
During this past year, there were several ways our family could still connect with the church. My daughter continued her confirmation classes online on Zoom. I was able to be a scripture reader at one of the services. We tune in for the services and watch them as a family. We've dropped in on classes and meetings, all of that over Zoom this past year.
This past year certainly has been challenging for everybody with COVID and us kind of trying to figure out what's going on. The church has been one of those lifelines, those virtual services are that one kind of continual thing we have every week to look forward to. And it's just really meant a lot to our family.
We love our church, and your leaders, a lot of us have been thinking and praying in recent years about what God's calling us to, especially with regard to our facilities. Our long-range plan says we've got to care for our facilities. You know, we have this beautiful sanctuary, and then we have the relatively new Parish Life building. But then there's that third building, and it's got a lot of problems. It's the misfit in our buildings, but it's also got structural issues. Now we've discovered since the pandemic began that it's got so much mold you can't even go in the building. Before we found that out, we did a feasibility study to see what could we do on this limited piece of property that we have. And we found that having a new state-of-the-art building over there, that's a feasible thing. We did a financial feasibility study that said we can raise the money for this. Some people, without even having a campaign, have stepped up and have made really large commitments. I had a cool moment a few days before Christmas. A woman called me and said, "Can you come by Southminster? I have something for you." I drove over there. I thought she was going to give me cookies or a cake or something. She handed me a check for $1 million for this building campaign. I think it's a witness to the community, right? It says there is a God, even in a cynical world. The church is still here. God still matters. God's people are still here. We're not retreating. We're not slowing down. We're moving forward boldly in God's name. I'm so excited about that.
We are very excited about the new building that's coming up. I remember when this one was built, more than 15 years ago, it made such a difference in the life of our church. I can't even imagine what our church was like before it was here because it's such a gathering place. One of the things I'm looking forward to about this new building is that I imagine it's going to be beautiful and a welcoming place, not just for our youth and other members of the congregation, but for the entire community.
What I love about this campaign is that there's going to be a strong missional component. We're not just giving for ourselves. We want a component of this to be out in the community. It's not a selfish look at what can we make for ourselves. It's how can we serve our church and our community better, and sometimes you just need space to do that.
As a practicing architect, I will say that this whole journey has been fun. It's been terrifying at times with COVID and how our world is reacting, but we also learn a lot of things. We learn how important those exterior spaces are and those interior spaces. And quite frankly, if we'd have had this whole process going on 2 years before, we wouldn't have captured those kind of things that we need to know now going forward. This will be a better facility because of COVID. It'll be a better facility because of we as a church community coming together to dream, to pray, to figure out what this facility needs to be.
There's so many exciting possibilities right now as we move into God's future. I want you to join me and your leaders and everybody else in our church family. I want us to think and talk to one another, pray, discern what God is asking us to do. Our building committee is meeting. They're exploring great possibilities for what could happen. Some folks are already beginning to have conversations around a capital campaign. Some people are already making commitments to that. In the background, it's going to come out for everybody. Begin to think and pray now of the role that you might play in this as we move forward together. I'm just so excited about this project. It's going to be all about hope, and that hope is here and hope is